And we are going. What is going on with everybody? It is your boy, Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. And got somebody here, man. Boy got the nice jacket on, looking cozy, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Who we got?
My name is Amani, musician and creative out in New York. Yeah,
Hey, man. I'm glad we're here, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. You know, getting up early. It's like, what time is it? It's like 11, almost 11. I was up early watching some battle raps. Um, Getting my mind right, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm straight. You got me with that, man. Quarantine messed up my sleep schedule, man. So when you was like, "Yeah, I wake up around 8," I was like, "Niggas." I was like, "Nigga, I don't." But I set my alarm because I was like, you know what? I said 11, so I'm gonna set it for 10, man. And I got up for you, man, because you are a very talented individual. If you was like a nigga, I was like, he cool. I would have been like, nigga, we gonna do this at 12. But I was like, you know what? I actually like this brother, man. This brother's a very talented individual, so I'm
I
gonna try to
appreciate
work
you.
on his time somewhat, man. But before we get
Word.
into this, when we started this, you said you was watching battle rap, and I am very, 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 very big into battle rap. So I'm curious of what got you into battle. I mean, I feel like every New York nigga watches battle rap, but outside of that,
That's
what
the
got you into it?
yeah. That's the thing. If you have any interest in hip hop and you growing up in New York, you're gonna get introduced to battle rap in some way, whether that be in real time or via the internet.
Yeah.
But I guess what got me into it. Let me think. I'm really trying to think right now because I think I was in high school and it's funny because it's the kind of thing that has always been like hip hop's been around since before I was born.
Yeah.
So me coming up, growing up, battle rap has just always been there. Because it's been a part of rap, it's been a part of hip hop. Hip hop has always been a part of my life growing up in the city. So it's kind of always been there. So it wasn't like one day I had this like revelation where I was like, "Oh shit, this battle rap shit is crazy." But I feel like I started getting into it in high school for sure. Around the time, around the Arsenal like era.
Mm.
Like I know that I'm generalizing it a little bit, but I think yeah, around yeah, like the Arsenal. I remember specifically like this Arsenal versus Shotty Hara
Yeah.
battle, and I remember thinking, that white boy nice. Like that's like my earliest memory of that shit, and then I like came back to like battle rap. I like stopped listening after high school, and I came back to it in my older years, and was like, oh shit, this shit is crazy.
Same thing happened to me, man. I remember I was my introduction was specifically Serious Jones. And I was like, yeah, this nigga's the best rapper of all time. Then he a freestyle. I'm like, bro, this nigga could freestyle. I thought that nigga was just like amazing. And like you said, I never really got too deep into it, but I did know of Serious Jones and all of his battles. Later on in middle school, I remember my friend David. He was like, "Hey, yo, bruh." He was like, "You watch battle rap?" I was like, "I used to a long time ago." He was like, "Nah, bro. It's this nigga named Loaded Lux. He just battled this nigga named Calico." He was like, "Bro, this is the greatest battle of all time." I'm like, "Man, ain't better than no Serious Jones battle." So I go and watch it, and I'm like, "Bro, what is this?" And that was like my reintroduction. And ever since I've been tapped in. So, like you said, man,
Word.
if you are like a hip hop fan, and if you're a rapper, I feel like you should be tapped in with battle rap just because I believe that they are some of the best, just like pure rappers on earth. Like when you look at niggas like Daylight and you just look at things that he can do, it's like man, it's like that boy is crazy, man. It's crazy
Yeah.
stuff. Is there
It's
a
like
battle rapper
the
you look at that you're like, yo, this nigga, he really one of them ones.
I mean, there's so many. Um, Definitely. It's funny. The thing with battle rap, I feel I've always like, or at least recently in my recent like return into being interested in
Hmm.
it. Um, I come across dudes and I'm like, okay, he alright. But then like a couple months later, I don't know, I'll just start fucking with them for some reason. It's my favorite battle rapper switches like every couple months, but um, I mean, Yeah, Daylight's definitely crazy. Bill Collector. I've been watching Bill Collector. That dude is funny. He's just funny.
Very
Like
funny.
I be dying. That's some of the shit he be saying. Um, I don't know, man. Fucking Geechee, K-Shine for sure. Of course Tay Rock. It's so many. Everybody, everybody is good in their own right. You know what I'm
Yes, I
saying?
fact. You got a favorite right now?
Right now, nah, I don't got a favorite.
Not favorite right now.
Just like I'm just appreciating. It's kind of like how I look at the NBA. In the NBA, I
Mm-hmm.
don't got a favorite player right now, but there's just so many fucking good players. Like it's not. You don't get bored watching, any of the games. Like there's just so much talent right now. So
My friend Rari, we like big NBA niggas, and we just talk about like how in this era, this is like, I mean, niggas don't want to say it, but I guess it is like the golden era for like offense. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like arguably the best era where just like every team got at least one like amazing nigga. It could be a trash team, but they at least got one person on that team. That's
that's what
amazing.
I'm saying, bro. Like that, it wasn't always like that. Like it used to be just you had the top teams of the East, top teams of the West. But I'm looking at all like, bro, every team that has somebody. Like Knicks finally got it together. Like it's beautiful.
Even the Knicks got, quickly and stuff like that. Or even
That's
you
what I
look
was
at the
saying.
Wizards, like the Wizards stink, but they got Bradley Beal. You know what I'm saying? Like
Westbrook,
and
like come on.
Westbrook. So they at least gonna have one or two people. You like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this team sucks, but man, they got this one nigga. If he leaves, but he
Exactly.
a star. You feel me? So
Right.
it's definitely one of the ones. Yeah, I guess I could take it back on how I found you, man, and start from to square one, man.
Okay, word.
It's his website. It's called KTT, and that's where I find a lot of new rappers and stuff at. So it's a thread on KTT. I think it's called like Renaissance Rap or some shit like that. And it's basically like a rap thread with more underground rappers, kind of put niggas on to niggas you might not have heard of. So I went through there one of these days, and I was like, you know what? I need some more like rappers to listen to and probably interview. So I'm going through, and I find you. So I don't think they had any of your music on there. So I'm like, let me find them. So I listened to a couple songs. I'm like, all right, he nice. Literally 2 days after that, somebody make a whole different thread and it was like, if you're into this type of music and this type of music, check out this guy. And they tagged me. It was like, yo, you need to listen to him, Eric. I'm like, I'm already hip. They was like, listen to this right here. So I started finding out way more about you. So then I found out like, yo, this nigga played the drums. I'm like, oh, this nigga, I'm very big on this. He produced a lot of his stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know these beats were produced by him because I went and checked down the Bandcamp thing, and I'm like, oh, it's a written, produced, and sung by you, or rapped by you. I'm like, okay, he doing his thing. So then after that, I found out I seen a Ka tweet from last year. And I'm like, Ka giving him a cosign. I'm a huge Ka fan, so I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
shout out to Kyle.
I need to really, really tap in. And then I found out that you was Talib Kweli's son. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, I'm finding out all of this. I'm like, I thought I would have found that out first. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm just finding out all of this stuff about you. And I'm like, yo, he got the lineage. He has the talent. He got the cosigns. I'm like, yo, he finna be one of them ones. So I start to listen to everything. And the song that really clicked with me where I was like, all right, I need to interview him after hearing this. It was the Cravings. But before I ask you about that, did you sing that? You sung the hook?
Yes, I'm a.
Hey, that's nigga. I thought I was goddamn on the plantation. That sounded like some Negro spirituals right there. But the way you made the
I'm
voice
dead.
deep when you did with the cravings is even me. I need you by my side. That shit there is in my head right now to this day. That is like a beautiful song, and I was like, okay,
Thank you.
I need to really interview this brother just off of that song right there. And then I started to enjoy your album from last year and the one you just recently put out. So before we get into this, just want to say thank you for your music and really thank you for the Cravings. That's a special song right there, my boy.
Appreciate you, dog. I appreciate that, man.
Is the Cravings? That's like a like. I don't know. I gotta nigga like how you made that, bro. Like you had to dig deep for that one, man. Like that's one of the ones, bro.
Yeah, it's funny you asked about that one. That was one of the last songs to go on the joint. Cause
Mm.
like, I made the joint and I was thinking like, I had this one song or this one uh, piece of text this was written that I wrote that was the Cravings, and it had to do with a more emotional, lovey-dovey side of my shit. So um, I wanted to portray that in the album because I didn't have any songs where I was really getting into that, and so I was just thinking like I wanted to do that shit, and I actually had a beat. I had laid that verse and hook on a different beat, produced by my man's Pink Seafood. Shout out to Pink Seafood.
Shout out to him.
And we was trying to get it out for the longest, but um, he lost the original file for the beat, so I only have the fucking recording. Bless you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I was just like, damn. I guess we'll just fucking. It was just sitting around. And I was like, man. I made a beat one night, and it was the Cravings beat. And I was like, let me try this over it. And it fit, and I was like, all right. It was actually, I had to sing it in it was a different key. So I sung it in a different key, but I was like, fuck it.
And
I'm trying to get the dog.
It's funny because I was in a symphonic band for many years of my life, and my band teacher, he would do this thing where like he would play like classical records or even modern day records of other symphonic bands and wind bands, and he would tell us like he'll highlight a part and he'll be like he'll identify that instrument, and he'll try to throw us off like it'll be like a mute trombone but it'll sound like a French horn, or it'd be a mute French horn and it'll sound like a trumpet, just stuff like that.
Right.
And so I like to do that when I listen to music. And I didn't even think about this until like you were just talking. But is the main instrument in there? Is that a saxophone? What is that? What's that?
Dun, dun, dun. Fuck, I'm forgetting like the beat right now. I don't know. Man.
Want to pull up real quick? I pull
yeah,
up for you. All right, bet.
I got you right now.
Hold on.
Beer?
Yeah, that right there.
That's a guitar.
That's a guitar. God damn, I think my brain fucking up. I said
Yeah.
that's a saxophone. Yeah, I gotta run that back. But man, that's hilarious. I just bragged about my teacher telling us to identify shit. I'm talking about it's a damn saxophone. That's funny. I gotta run it back. But I think my mind is stuck on what you did with your voice on the hook right there, because I really appreciate when people get deep with their voice and like their baritone. You was on your damn Nina Simone type shit when you hit that note right there, man. Is that something that you like to do? Like is singing, would you say that's like a part of your arsenal? Are you working on it? Like how would you say that is like within your repertoire?
Yeah, I mean, like every black person grows up singing, even if they like, oh, I don't sing. Like, even if you can't sing, like you grew up singing. Like, my mom's always singing. She don't got the best voice, but she grew up singing. Like we were singing Music Soul Child and fucking, all kinds of shit in the car growing up. But my sister Diani, Ashe, shout out to her. She was the singer growing up, and I would sing, but I never really took it seriously. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until like, I started as I got older and started teaching myself instrumentation. Just gradually started, digging into singing and looking into different singers and digging into that whole bag, the singing world. But it's definitely something I'm working on. It's something I'm not proclaiming myself to be. I'm not out here like I'm a singer, but I sing. I sing all the time.
Who you listening to that's like singing wise?
Singing wise, so many people. Shout out to Liv. Shout out to Nick Hakeem. Shout out to Esperanza Spalding. Shout out to trying to think. I don't know, so many people. Besides, she rap and sing. Kayana. so many people, man. I'll be thinking like every time I'm like, yo, when somebody asks me about who I
Yeah.
fuck with, that I always think I'm gonna just like I know who I'm gonna say. Like I always be having the list, but whenever the person asks me, it's like it's only a limited amount of people. But there's so many cats. But those just to name a few. Those are definitely people.
That you rock with. Nah, it's crazy you bring up your sister because that was I didn't even know you had a sister because that came out afterwards and it was like yeah bro his sister fired too. I was like he got a sister that's hard. So listen to your sister and she put out something recently right if I'm not mistaken that I was
She
listening
put out an
to.
album called Dopamine.
I was listening to that and I was like she's dope too. So it's very interesting that you guys have like just this beautiful lineage in music. Have you ever made a song with her? Because I don't think you was on that. Were you?
Mm-mm. We've made. I have a track on her on the album before this one where I produced something. Um, but we don't have like. I think that's like the only. I
Really?
have two tracks. I have another track before that one. I produced something too. But yeah. Besides that, nah. I think we don't. Yeah, that's it. That's it. As far as public
Public stuff.
stuff, yeah,
But
yeah.
I would imagine y'all grew up like doing stuff together, like just playing around in the house and yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We that was my first collaboration with my
Yeah.
sister. And so was hers, vice versa. But
When did you realize that you may have had like talent? Like you said, all black people grow up rapping it or singing at least, because that's like I always find it funny when I see people on the internet like, yeah, I started listening to hip hop like in 2012 or when I was in seventh grade. I'm like, nigga, how did you do that? So I always think about like black people. Like I was like, I'm a hip hop baby. Like my mom was listening to Erica Badu and just rapping R&B music. So we all grew up listening and trying to emulate that. But when did you realize you had like talent that you could really push and people would recognize it?
when did I realize it? It's fun. I feel like I'm maybe just now realizing it. Low key, like I don't know. The music was the kind of thing where I was pretty. I see myself as a student. I've always seen myself as a student. Obviously, like there's the ego part of just like being a rapper
Yeah.
or being a musician in general. But I feel like yeah, for the longest I was just very I don't want to say insecure, but just like just what's the fucking word? Like I thought too much. I would think too much. I was too much in my head about my own work and my process. So um, it's like I believed in it, but it was just like I didn't to say I realized it
Yeah.
wouldn't be 100% truth. But I think you know quarantine this past year has taught me a lot. I'm not gonna lie, like quarantine taught me a lot about myself and just what you do what you can do what you set your mind to, and you just gotta believe in yourself, man. You know,
It's,
and yeah,
nah, it's crazy. I was about to say I was talking to this girl about quarantine or whatnot, and I study psychology, so I know like there's things that you gotta like unearth like in your brain because there's some things that happened like in your childhood, not specifically you, but I'm saying in general, like people childhood that you bury it so far you don't even remember it until like something
right.
triggers it. And I know a lot of that happened for people in quarantine. So you saying you're working on yourself, you probably had stuff that what I'm saying you wasn't even trying to think about that you just forced you to think about it being stuck in the house and what I'm saying you can't go out and ignore it or take your mind away from it. So how did you deal with quarantine? Like was it bad or was it more bad or more good for you think?
It was all the bad. All it was good. It was good and bad. It
Mm,
was good and bad, like always. And I took both and tried to make the best out of it. Um, but mostly, I just took time to really Wait, 1 second. Yo, what was you saying? What was we saying?
That's a good ass question. I forgot what we was talking about. Uh, uh, we had a little break in the scenery. What we was talking about? We was talking about the good and the bad during quarantine, if I'm not
Right,
mistaken. And
right,
you was saying it was
right,
good and bad, right?
right. It was good and bad, man. Good and bad. I just, yeah. I delved into the world of Robinhood and stocks and cryptocurrency and all that shit. Thought about going to trade school. Thought about quitting. I quit music for like a good month, or like, yeah, it was like a good month. I just wasn't doing any music. Just like not even fucking checking Instagram and deleted the gram. Like deleted all my music, and then got back to it naturally, and then I cooked up an album with my boy Gang, King Vision Ultra.
So when you quit music, we was talking about this a little bit before we got on here. You was saying that you was kind of even doing interested in doing what I was doing with interviews and stuff like that. Is that something you grew up interested in, or is that a something you found out during quarantine you was interested in?
Well, yeah, it's definitely something during like it was something I was thinking about pre-quarantine. I was thinking about it was something I've been thinking about since I started rapping.
Mm.
Like since I started rapping and doing it, like since I started performing in shows, like doing shows and seeing other people, seeing my community, other artists on the scene, not just rappers, but just visual artists, singers, all that. Seeing that, it made me think like, yo, like there's so much going on, like so much culture, so much beautiful shit, and I always thought I wanted to document it, but I just what would happen is like I would think about it and it would just be sitting there in the back of my head. A couple of years would pass or a year would pass and I'll meet more people and I'll just keep adding to the list, and then I came up with this big list of like people. I'm rambling right now, but basically the documentary, the whole like idea of a documentary, I've thought about that since I started like meeting people and shit. But I wanted to take it serious and do some sort of like podcast kind of thing, similar to what you're doing. But it's just, I wasn't in the headspace for it, and I think music is definitely some sort of calling of mine too. So it's something I've been doing for a minute, and but yeah, I watch documentaries all the time. So just that same, it's all in that same vein. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't even gonna bring this up to later, but I think it's a perfect transition because one of the first things that you even commented on my YouTube page was I got an interview with this guy named Real Black, and we were just talking about him, and you were just talking about you like documentaries, which I'll let you do a little bit explain on what that page is, but I'm curious if you remember how you found this page and just talk about that page a little bit because you said you really that's something that really like helped you.
Yeah, Real Black, man. Like, I think I found him. I found that page over quarantine. Um,
For the people that don't know, it's REEL Black, not like real, but art like a movie Real Black. My fault. Keep going.
Facts. And they're basically a YouTube platform that archives, or well, they have a website too, but I think they have a website. But I found them on YouTube. This YouTube platform that archives Black film in all senses. From commercials to movies to series to lectures, anything you could think of Black and film is on there. Like vintage, a lot of vintage stuff. Even more recent stuff like 2000s. 2010, 2010s, even like now, like there's stuff that he puts out that is like, that came out a year ago or something. So it's all just Black archive, and I think I found out about him just through YouTube suggestions, like me watching probably like a documentary about something, and then realizing every suggestion I'm getting is probably from the same page, and I clicked on his thing. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. So
I could tell by your videos you want to do something like you. I could tell like I could see you like being interested in like how can I like directing. Like I could see you wanting to do like because you said like you want to do a documentary. Like I could see you putting a hand within film somehow, even if it's directing or just doing something small. I could see that being something that you're interested in. So, like, have you ever actually pursued that, or is that something you want to do in the future?
definitely, yeah, definitely like interested in possibly pursuing that in the future. Um, yeah, because that's that shit sounds fun. I love film, so it would definitely the passion is there. It would come naturally, like whatever vibe I'd be trying to create.
For sure, and one of my favorite videos from you, speaking of film, is the one that Ka shouted out. So I'm curious, was the Ka shout out post or before the quitting of rap? Like, did you quit before? Or you quit after the Ka tweet?
I, it,
That was
it
in
was
August. I think
before.
he shouted you out.
Yeah. So I quit before. I I I I just stopped making music in like February, I
Okay,
think, of
okay.
2020. And like most of the project was done. I was just like, man, fuck this shit. Man. I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. Like it doesn't. And the quarantine hit, and I was like, even more so. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like this is. I'm done with this. I gotta get some money right now. Um, but yeah, yeah. It was definitely before.
Was that something that you expected from him, or did you even know him? Like, was that surprising? How, like, what
Yeah,
happened when that happened?
peace to Cobb. Shout out to Cobb because I fuck with Cobb heavy. Like that's one of my favorite
Yeah.
rappers, writers in general, like just writer. But I my bad. What was your question?
No, I was saying like, did you expect that tweet from him? Like, did you know him prior
Oh,
for that, or was that
that
surprising?
thing. Nah. That was surprising. I didn't even have Twitter at the time,
Mm.
so gang showed me that, and I was like, oh wow, that's fire. Like unexpected. Yeah,
It's funny because looking at that video, you is I don't know. I liked the way that shot because Pink Seafood's in that video, right? If I'm not mistaken. Pink shout out to Pink Seafood. That's a real one right there. But I'm looking at the video and I don't know. I like the way it's shot, man. You work out. You like a nigga that was like on a prison yard in that video. You had the tank top on. Oh yeah, this nigga look grimacing right now, bro.
Bruh, everybody be saying that. I'll be dead. Like everybody be saying that. Nah. Do I work out? Nah. But I do stay in shape. I play ball.
For sure, for sure.
I used to bike a lot. I used to work out a little bit, more when I was younger. But I just play ball now. So
Man, I'm a big basketball nigga. I know like that's like a New York thing for sure. But yeah, man, I think that video showed me. I was like, man, this nigga got like the one liners for days. Like I feel like you got the one liners that aren't like Ka. He be saying some junk that's not like overly complicated, but it pierces your soul. You feel me? Like he keep it short
yeah,
and sweet.
yeah.
You're like,
Thanks.
damn, like that
Thanks.
nigga, like, why hasn't nobody said this? And you got some bars where I'm like, nigga, that's crazy. So I wrote down a couple bars. Can we go through them real quick if that's cool with you,
Oh
man?
yeah,
For
for
sure,
sure.
man. You what you say, man? You said my favorite bar from you probably currently is self hate learn when we see dirt on the walls we touched. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, man. That's because
Word.
that's some psychological type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I'm a psychology nigga, so when I hear that, I'm like, that's some psychology right there, man. Is that a bar
Word.
you thought about watching something? Like, were you watching like some poor poverty, or that just came to you out the blue?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. It just be with all my bars. It's like I can never really force anything. Like I could sometimes it works, but the best shit definitely just comes. Like I don't know where that came from. It just was kind of like an image that popped up in my head. So
Beautiful. That's a beautiful bar.
I
What
appreciate you fucking with that bar because I like that bar too.
That's a hard bar. What you said? You said something like forks in the road. I'm working on my telepathy. I thought that was hard. I looked at that on some like.
1 second, bro. My bad.
Nah, you good.
Yeah.
I looked at that on some like when I see telepathy in movies, niggas bending the fork and shit like that. So the forks in the road, that's telepathy. Did I catch that right? Was that what you going for?
You said I said fuck. It'd be hard to memorize it without saying it in rhythm. Um, what I said. What song was that? Was that the
I
same song?
I think that was either the Cravings or Black Man's Therapy. I think that was Black Man's Therapy.
Oh, Black Man's Therapy, right. I'd be like, wait, I got it right here. Good thing I'd be writing my shit down. I don't know what to do, son. I say, come forks in the road, I'm surely flexing my telepathy.
There it
Right.
is, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit
Nah,
like no shit like that. You're very potent. You know what I'm saying? And this is what like you're in your
appreciate you,
second
bro.
project, right? Your second one's like second official project.
Yeah, we can say that.
Second, so like if you're in your second like official project that like everybody's tuning into, I think that's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll compare it to like my favorite rapper right now, who's Navy Blue. You feel me? Like his first official project on streaming was Out of Ear, and that came out last year, and he was rapping potent on there. You feel me? So the fact that you coming out the debut swinging, I feel you know what I'm saying. That's all praise right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
appreciate
producing, bro, you are crazy with the beats, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to talk about that a little bit. Like, did that come before or after the rapping? Like, officially, like you recording? Like, did you record a song first or produce a song first?
Wait, did you mean that I produce like with this project or just in general?
Just in general, like, did you produce a song ever in
Oh
your life first, or
no!
record first?
I rap first. Yeah, I rap first.
So
Yeah.
this is a newer
Or I
thing.
took it seriously first. I
Took it
was like,
seriously first.
this is like what I want to do.
So it's producing a newer thing for you.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of feels like they're at the same level at this point,
Yeah.
bro. But yeah, I started rapping, and then like probably like a year after I started taking rapping seriously, I bought a machine, like that, yeah, that 16 pad machine, and that was the beginning. And I started fucking with Logic, then fucking with Ableton, but it was slow. Like I was still doing the rap shit way more intensively. But then when I started getting into the live instrumentation, the production kind of fell right into that. So
I'm a big percussion head, so I look at the drums behind you, and I'm curious when did that start? Because I heard you playing drums on your story a couple days ago, on your Instagram story, and it was crazy. So I'm curious how long you been doing that.
I've only been playing drums for like 5 years.
Hmm.
About to be, yeah, or like more like, or seriously like 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Um, yeah, and yeah, 3 or 4 years.
Self taught.
Self-taught, self-taught. I just had a lesson, had my first lesson with Indie Buzz.
Hmm.
Well, that's his Instagram, but Buzz, my boy Buzz. Um, Shout out to him. He's amazing, a musician, drummer. He just put out a project. I'll link you that
So
after this. But yeah, he taught me some shit recently, which was dope. But yeah, I'm self-taught, but I definitely learned a lot going to live shows in Brooklyn and seeing some of the drummers out here. Like my boy Frazier, David Frazier, McNabu, Sinke, so many cats, Casa Overall, fucking, I've seen Mike Mitchell out here. So many drummers have inspired my shit. So I can't say I'm self-taught, but watching niggas for sure.
now, what I rock with about you, you real. I can tell you like a student of the game type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like you a nigga that like I feel like a lot of rappers and just people in general, like they feel too like I don't know, arrogant or whatever to like go back and learn the history or go back and like really study. Like, damn, so like this nigga's great. Why is he great though? You seem like that type of nigga to like try to figure out like why is this nigga great and really study him.
Right.
Is that correct for me to assume?
That's facts. Yeah.
Is there a rapper that you say that you've done that with the most that you look back at and you like really studied that nigga to try to figure out like why he was like that? Because honestly, I
Like,
can't hear too many influences on you. Like you sound like your own rapper, so that's why I asked you that.
well, I appreciate that. That means a lot.
For sure.
I mean, I do that with every rapper. That I do that with most rappers that I. Well, I mean, are you asking if I just like just dig rappers' work? Like how?
Well, let's bring it back to basketball. So there's probably, let's say, Kobe. Kobe, the person he probably studied the most tape from, which Jordan, obviously.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So like, who was the nigga
So,
you studied the most tape from?
I would say Kendrick. Right? It started out with Kendrick. Like when I was 14, I heard Section 80, or like 14 or 15, something like that. I heard Section 80 for the first time, and I was like, yo. First, I heard. Fuck, what was the shit called? It was a album. It was a mixtape before that.
Overly dedicated.
Overly dedicated. Yeah, overly dedicated. And some of those, like the Heart Part 2, like some of those tracks really blew my mind. But for him to follow it up with that shit, so yeah, Kendrick. Shout out to Kendrick, man. When I was younger, I was definitely on Kendrick OD. After Kendrick, I would say it would have been Homeboy Sandman. I was fucking with Homeboy Sandman heavy. All his shit. He just had so many raps, so much shit that I feel like went over my head that I would always like listen back like afterwards and be like, oh shit. So shout out to him. Who else? I mean, my pops definitely. That was really the first rapper I like, really, whose work I dug. But yeah, those three for sure. My pops, Kendrick, Homeboy Sandman, Lauryn Hill. She didn't really have that much, stuff, but her MTV Unplugged, I feel like that's underrated. So I feel like when I heard that I leveled up, like in terms of my writing when I heard that album, that live session.
Sometimes I wish like what another album from her would sound like. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we've missed out on like a lot of greatness with her. You feel me? Like man, she was a special talent, a super special talent. But yeah, man. Your dad is somebody that for whatever reason, my mom used to like your dad music a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I would, well, she's from up north, so I feel like that's her tempo. You feel me? And it really differentiated from. No, it actually didn't. It fit the rap that she liked at the time. Now I think about it, and that's what got me into him, cause it was damn. I could not remember the song to save my life, but as it was a song like maybe 2009, 2008 ish that she used to like. I was like, all right, let me see who this is. And going back and seeing the Black Star and things like that, I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So, I mean, I don't even know how to word this because it's your dad, but like, wait, what was the introduction to his music for you, if you remember?
He would take me on tour with him, so it wasn't really like my experience was the shows, like seeing how many people would cheer and sing songs, and so seeing that from a baby. I'm gonna automatically like be like, yo, I'm a rider. Like I fuck with this shit. Like, and I learned I still know all the words to more so the earlier stuff than the later stuff. And yeah, I was just, I was So yeah, when I was younger, it was more so the shows, and I would see the shows and go to the shows. But then as I got older, I would always hear it in the house, obviously, hear him playing the music. But when I started listening to rap on my own and becoming a rapper myself, I will go back to Black Star, and I will go back to Reflection Eternal, and those two really like also leveled me up
Mm.
as far as my writing. Just like you know, those were the first times I understood what he actually was saying.
Yeah.
Like I knew the words, I could rap along, but then when I really like sat down and like listened with intention, like that was the time where I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like he's saying some crazy shit.
That's a fact, man. He can rap his ass off, man.
Yeah.
Is music something that he pushed you away from? Did y'all even talk about that, like when you was growing up?
No, he's always supported it. He's always been like, you know, this is what you want to do. He's never forced it though. You know, he's never been like in any way. I've always come to him like, yo, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. So yeah, he's definitely supported the journey.
I feel like you need that, man. I was just talking to the same girl I was talking about. We were just talking about how not having people in your life to um, support your dreams and beliefs, it could deter you away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you came to him like, "Yo, I want to be a rapper," it's like, maybe you should go to school. Maybe you wouldn't be a rapper right now because that really deter you because you didn't have nobody in your corner. And going through quarantine, I feel like you really need that if you're really trying to push to your dreams. You feel me? If you all alone during quarantine and you tell much you want to do something, you might not even have the strength or will to even do that or whatnot. So I'm glad that you came back at it. You ain't give up because shit, man, you gave us two really good projects, man. You feel? I've been playing this back to back since I found you, bro. You feel me? So I really really appreciate what you got going on, and then I see the track list for Haram. And I'm like, bro, I can't stop finding this nigga. Like, this nigga's all over the place, man. And then I hear what you do on there, and you did your thing on there. So we were just talking about Elucid, and of course he's a part of Arm& Hammer. How did that come about?
Yeah, Elucid. So I had like heard about Elucid and Billy Wood separately, just through word of mouth, and like I never tapped in until we did this show one time. We signed up to do this show, and I heard that they had this group. I forget who I heard it through, but we did the show with Arm& Hammer, and I tapped in, and I was like, damn, these niggas are crazy. And it's crazy because looking back, I still didn't understand how crazy they were, I don't think. Or at least that's what it feels like now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the appreciation has definitely grown, but maybe it just feels like that because they just keep putting out crazy shit. But shout out to them. But so yeah, that was like the first time linking and tapping in. But then when we did the Unknown Infinite, me and KBU gang is cool. Him and Elucid are very cool. So he was like, "Yo, let's get him on the album." And we had him on the first track, the opening track. And when he first told me, I thought about it. I was like, "Yeah, fuck it."
Hey, that took some balls, bro. Like, to let Elucid start off your first debut album that's gonna show you to the world, and just let that nigga rap his ass off. I was like, yo, this nigga got a lot of confidence in himself to do this, because that's a lot to take up on before. But you did your thing. You did your thing.
Well, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
So
So
that's crazy.
What you saying?
No, my fault. I thought you was I was about to say so that transition to you, I guess, getting on Haram, I assume.
Yeah, cause after that, he was cool. We've been cool since then.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I think what it showed on Haram, which you showed in a couple of your songs, I like the fact that you can get in that, like some of your songs, like A Black Man's Therapy, that feels more like a meditation, spiritual type of song. But then the one on Haram, that's you showing like a little bit more your like aggressive side. You know what I'm saying? Like you can talk to niggas. You feel me? Stuff like that. Is there a style you prefer over the other? Because you do both pretty well.
Not really.
You just go.
I just go.
So that's not good. That's a Hooper answer. That's like, hey, what you prefer, shooting or slashing? Like, nigga, I do it all, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about?
that's a good analogy though, because facts like I'll shoot the three, but I'll also take it to the Baja. Like I'm not playing.
So you want to be an all around artist, basically, is where I'm coming from, man. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Because I mean that goes back to a nigga like Kendrick. That nigga Kendrick can give you the very, you know what I'm saying, deep thinking, conscious, and then he can go and do a rigor mortis where it's like, right, this nigga's Art of Heart Part Two, and you like, what the fuck is this nigga doing right now? So that's a fact. But hey, man, I don't want to keep you for too long, but I do want to, like, next time you drop something, I want to get you back on here and I want to break it down one by one if that's cool with you, man. I want to go song by song, beat for beat, and I want to really understand what you was thinking on them songs because I was like, damn, I wish I would did it with one of these, but I feel like I'm gonna save it for the next one if that's cool with you.
No, that sounds good with me, man. I've never done something like that, so that sounds fun.
Perfect, perfect. All right, so for the people watching, man, if you got any last words, let it be known.
Yeah, shout out to mom and pops. Shout out to all the beautiful artists that are doing their thing. You know, everybody on PTP, everybody in Tay's Grip, Lucid House. Yeah, shout out to everybody doing their thing. Shout out to you, bro, because
Thank
um, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, the interviews, documenting the culture, because you know, last year I was telling myself, like, nobody's doing this, the work that you're doing. And then, you know, I look at the videos you was posting last year, you was doing it, and I was just telling myself that I didn't even know. I saw you do, I saw a screenshot of Orlando Brown. You did an interview with him?
That was one of my first ever interviews in like 2016 or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, that shit. Like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, he on something. Like, this dude, this some legendary shit right here. Like, so keep doing what you doing, bro. Tapping in with the culture. But yeah, I appreciate, you know, being able to share and people receiving it well. You know, so.
and also before we get out here, I want to shout out Pink Seafood because, like I said, I seen he was in one of your videos, and he always put me on the like dope rappers, even if he collabing with them or if I see him like follow somebody, and I'm like, oh, who this is, or he talking about somebody, shout out somebody, bro. That I really rock with him, man. I'll never forget when I interviewed him last year. I told him that my favorite rapper was Navy Blue Sage, and I wanted to interview him, and he was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna let him know. You know how niggas be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna hit your people. Never don't do that shit. I ended up interviewing Sage. I got in contact with him by myself. But Sage is like, yo, he was like, Pink Seafood hit me up about you, and was like, he wanted to interview you. I just forgot to get back to him. I was like, that's some real shit. Like, he ain't have to do that. You feel me? He could have just been like,
Right.
I'm gonna hit him up, bro, and don't ever do this shit. But he really did it. So, you know, I just want to
Yeah.
shout out that boy because that was some real shit. He ain't have to do that. So,
Word. Yeah, shout out Sage, shout out Liv, Pink Seafood, shout out Nelson. You got Nelson on here too.
shout out to
So
Nelson.
you got the fam on here. So that's blessed, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, for sure. For everybody watching, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play. Y'all niggas holla at you.